Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and in today's video, we're going to take a tour through Ruz's Discord server, the King's Codex. And a part of the reason that I want to show this to you is, of course, he's my friend, but also there's a ton of really useful information here, whether you're looking for a talent build, and honestly, this is a pretty sophisticated bot that they've put together for this Discord server that provides that information, KvK information, a special and really spicy section for kingdom leaders, where apparently this is where like all the real Diplo happens in this game right now. And also there's a looking for kingdom section. You can use the timestamps to jump to whichever part you'd like, but I've got Ruz on the call here to walk through this stuff with us. Hey dude, welcome.
Hey, what's up for the 5th time?
It's been a minute. Yeah, this took us 5 tries. We don't have to talk about why it took us 5 tries, but just to give some examples, one of my kids crashed upstairs, and then Ruz's computer crashed, and then I think both Ruz and I crashed in one take. Anyways, 5th time's the charm. Classic Ruz Chisgule antics here. So let's go down and let me show you the commander section real quick. So in the commander section, if you wanted a commander talent build, of course, you could go watch one of my videos, but the alternative here is that in this section, you can type exclamation and the name of the commander. You recommended I do Gorgo. It'll put on screen the recommended pairings, and also I can select what I'm doing. So I could say, give me an infantry garrison build, and here is the garrison build that's recommended, and it's got equipment, including the accessories, and some optional accessories and formation information. Obviously, formation stuff can get pretty nuanced, but you know, by that point, you probably know what you're up to here. Now, that said, the Combat Hub has a lot of stuff in it, Ruz, and we're going to try to keep this video brief because there's like a gazillion channels in here. But is there any other thing you want to highlight from the Combat Hub before we go to the KvK info section?
Yeah, I think the second most important part of this section is the meta lineups. So this entire hub, the Combat Hub, is run by Dom. If you've been watching Chiz's streams and videos and stuff, you probably would have heard of Dom by now. He's been, doing most of the testing, or like a lot of the testing with Chisgule. And yeah, so all of these, type of pairings are curated by him. So if we go down to the open field pairings, for example, whenever there's a big evolution to the meta, so for example, the introduction to like Arthur William, like seen in the big KvKs and also through his own personal testing, he will update these to reflect what the new meta is. So if you want to stay on top of, the best rally garrisons, the best artifact pairings, open field pairings, like Dom has you covered in this section.
I'll attest, Dom is the GOAT. Definitely can say that I would agree with whatever he's recommending is going to be a good recommendation. Huge, man. Okay, so that covers commanders, meta lineups, talents. But let's talk about KvK info, all right? So when you're queuing up for a KvK, there's a lot that you might want to know. I think KvK leaders and kingdom organizers would love this section where basically you can go in and select what KvK you're doing, and there's a bunch of information there. So I just did a Siege of Orleans, but if I select that, the bot is going to provide to me here an answer that says, here's the crystal map, which is basically a map showing where all the crystals are, right?
Yeah.
A matchup map. What's that?
So matchup map is generally the match, when you see your stats and all the kingdom placements in the different camps, that's that type of format.
Okay, got it. And then the customizable KvK timeline. This is obviously really critical for like knowing when things are going to happen in KvK. And we were talking about this earlier, and you said it's so simple. You just drop your KvK pop date or something like that in there, right? And it does the rest.
You just have to update like 1 or 2 cells. Like, as you know, there are some chronicles that are different in KvKs. Like if you build forts quicker, if you build flags quicker, you only have to edit those 2 as well as when you got the KvK pop, and then you're good to go. It gives you a list of all your altar times, ruin times, and stuff like that. You'll actually notice that we have both Shilich and Chico in this server, and they're both a part of my scholar and staff team, and they're both of the owners of the. First of all, the map with all the different crystal maps, and Chico is the one that makes a majority of the timelines. So if anything needs updated, we will get them updated instantly, and you can find them here.
Huge. You literally have the people that did the equivalent of writing the book. They drew the maps. The cartographer is in your server.
Yeah.
Okay. So Next section, which was really spicy, is the kingdom leadership section. And you were telling me before this that you believe you've got the most comprehensive collection of kingdom leaders assembled in one place.
Oh yeah, definitely. So we actually have 841 kingdoms in the server right now, so unique kingdoms, and 1,032 different kings. Obviously we allow up to 2 kings per kingdom, and that amounts to a total of 1.5 thousand figures of leadership in the server so far. It's definitely the biggest collection and by far the most active.
And I see here, like, there's all kinds of different stuff in here. Like, you have pre-made Google Forms for rally garrison leads. Looks like you've got some mail templates. I see here kingdom commendations, where I guess you can shout out a kingdom you've played with. I'm sure betrayal cases is pretty pretty spicy, and report a betrayal.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need to look out for the kingdoms that betray. You never want to ally a kingdom that might backstab you at the end of KvK. So we like to broadcast that and make sure that kingdom betrayals don't happen as often. We actually released this very recently, and we've already had 2 cases with some others in the works right now. Yeah.
Holy. Okay. Yeah. You know what? I don't like to get in the middle of drama. Where I can avoid it, I will try to avoid it. But I appreciate that there's a place where you can go and report this stuff. Now, this is a leadership-based section, right? So when you join this Discord server, you go to the server info area and you select what it is you want to sign up for, right?
Yeah, in the Discord support channel. So if you're a figure in leadership in your kingdom, you just want to open a ticket and select the Council of Kings options. And you obviously have to provide some screenshots that prove you're in leadership. But then we'll get you covered. The staff team will answer you, give you some roles.
Yeah, I see the channels and roles section. There's the general hub, the combat hub, which is where the talents and pairings are, the KvK hub we were talking about, and a new player hub. So early game new player guides, which is pretty cool. And then you can sign up for updates about specific things like Dom's combat updates, so you get pings on stuff.
Yeah, so whenever there's a major update to either the combat meta or something has come up, so for example a new sheet that might be really important to help, I think you made a video on it that helps you figure out the values of different armament stats on different marches.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So important things like that, or just general KvK related things like an Orleans auxiliary guide for skills.
Yep.
You can get notified when those are released, that ping.
Okay, cool. Now, one thing I didn't mention at the start of the video that I think a lot of people will find helpful is the event.info section. So any event that's in the game, you have information about here. And also you have an event tracker where in the event tracker, it'll tell you how many days till an event is going to show up. So for example, I don't know. I mean, Mightiest Governor's not all exciting, but Soroli. So the event arrived 2 days ago. The event lasts 3 days, and here's a link to the guide. Or like, when's the next Hunt for History? I think that Hunt for History is one of those things where it depends on your kingdom, but it might arrive in 9 days for some kingdoms. Then Dalrok's Puzzle Box is on here, and so on. So pretty helpful to have all this info if you are actually trying to plan. I kind of live in the moment. I'm like, yeah, whatever happens, happens. But there are definitely times where I'm like, when's the next More Than Gems? When is that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is that in your list here, More Than Gems?
Oh yeah. So that one just recently passed, but
okay.
We are pretty spot on with our predictions, and it's also a lot more straightforward than like opening a Google sheet and trying to figure out what the next events for the week are. This will help you see the next events 2 weeks in advance, because the in-game calendar is obviously limited by like 5 days in advance.
Oh, so I just signed up for More Than Gems. I think this is what you were telling me about earlier. So I will get a ping 2 days before More Than Gems?
Yeah, it'll be like, hey, so More Than Gems is starting in 2 days. That'll give you a,
cool.
a heads up saying, hey, you probably should save your gems.
Okay, got it. Now I'm kind of all over the place here, but maybe we go back to this leadership section, because this is like more maybe detailed stuff here, but I think it is kind of cool and worth mentioning. You have a record of every KvK that has popped since like 2022, you said?
Yeah, since the start of 2022, we have every single KvK pop and their specific modes tracked. So, if you were to go to a previous year, you'd see how many times a KvK mode has popped that year. And while the pattern is pretty irregular for what certain modes will pop, you can kind of get an idea. But it's also good to keep a record of, just in case.
Bro, funny to go back to 2022 and it's like all Strife of the 8
Dude,
and
times were
Heroic
so much
Anthem.
simpler back then. Yeah, it's just. And you know what's funny?
Oh,
We only played
God.
2 of those modes that whole year. We only played HA and Strife.
Yeah. I remember when that was satisfying. It was like,
Yeah.
those are good. Good times. Okay, so obviously you got a lot of information here, more than we could possibly share. Some of this maybe gets featured in a future video as well. So one thing we're editing into the video is about KvK registrations and signups. And I alluded to this earlier that like kind of all the Diplo is happening here. And that's maybe a little bit of an overstatement, but Ruz, do you just want to explain very briefly what all these officers and kings are doing in the Reg sign-up area of the king section?
Yeah, so firstly, you want to head over to Reg Access. So Access is the first thing that the king. So this is only for kings because we only allow kings to register for their kingdoms since they're the ones making the big decisions. And when there's a new KvK pop, so currently this is the last pop with these modes, it will update with the new KvK modes and stuff like that. So it'll pop 2 days before the actual kingdom, like the KvK registration, appears in game. And a kingdom can put in what they're going to be doing for the pop. So for example, like I can go in, I can say I'm currently in KvK. Yep. And that'll give me access to the Reg signup. So now I go to the Reg signup. I can now see all the kingdoms that either plan to or are going to register for those KvK modes in the upcoming KvK pop. There's a menu down below to show what kingdoms are skipping and who are currently in KvK. But this is a great insight for kings looking to see like what KvK pop they can go into and seeing the rest of the pool of the kingdoms. A little like feature is you may notice like on the front page in the Strife of 8, someone has a corn symbol in front of their name. That is essentially them saying, hey, we're actually going into this KvK to recover and farm. Just an FYI.
No. Yeah,
Yep.
I see it.
So, but it's much better for the kings to know beforehand than go into KvK and learn that. So
Yeah, true enough. True enough.
huge insight.
GG's. Okay, cool. This is definitely very interesting. This is what I was referring to, where it's like there's a lot going on behind the scenes with KvK registrations these days, and this is pretty cool.
Yep. Here, I can swap to skipping like that.
Oh, skipping this pop. Ooh.
Yep.
Okay,
and it's sorted by seed and then by kingdom number.
Oh, wow.
So really easy to keep track. Yep.
Gosh, bless. You've put a lot of work into this. Very cool, man. Appreciate you sharing that. One of the last things I kind of wanted to talk about, because I think it'd be really valuable to folks, is the ability to pitch yourself to kingdoms if you're looking for a new kingdom. And I think, you said, Chisgule, there's all these officers in here, man, and 800 plus kingdoms you said represented in here, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So looking for kingdom is where you do that, right? You click this, click here to make your post. Pinned post here, and then it gives you the instructions for everything you need to do.
Yep.
And I think that
it'll just be a simple / command, and you just fill out your information. Yeah.
Nice. I am not actually looking for a kingdom at the moment, nor is this probably the way I would look personally. But like, if you're not connected with a lot of people in the game yet, and you haven't made a bunch of friends with, I think the way most people find a kingdom is like they try to talk to someone who knows someone else at a kingdom that might be cool. You know what I mean? Cold outreach is pretty tough. But I think to be able to post your stuff and have people reach out to you, I don't know, seems good to me.
And I think another positive to this server is that we have kingdoms that range from like the leanest of D-seeds to literally the top Imperium. Like we have 960, 1093. And probably every top Imperium in the top 20 by now. So regardless of what your account is, there will be an appropriate home for you. So this is there's a really high chance that you find the right home for your account.
Cool. Well, look, dude, I appreciate you coming on to walk everybody through this. The link's going to be in the description and in my Discord server. And if you're not in my Discord server as well, like, bro, join up, discord.gg/Chisgule. You can join this one, the King's Codex as well. Link will be in the description and the pinned comment. Ruz, anything else you want to share before we wrap this one?
No, I mean, just join up. Make sure to pick up all the appropriate roles when you join for the different sections. But yeah, that's about it. Hope you guys
Huge.
make use of
Join the server. Shout out to the legends that maintain this thing. It's a lot of details, more details than like any one content creator has the time to like continuously update and manage. Which is a part of why I thought this is cool. Is like, you know, creators make videos and those are a snapshot at a moment in time. But if this Discord server is maintained in the way that you have been doing and intend to continue to do, I think it will be a really cool resource in a way that you probably can't get from a video.
Oh, I mean, shout out to my staff team first, man. Like, dude, without my staff and like the people that help me run it, like, it's impossible.
You say staff, but these are all volunteers.
Oh yeah, no, they're volunteers, bro. I have like $2, man. They ain't getting paid anything.
Yeah, I figured I would call that out. It's not like you have a paid team doing this, so
no. So this is a completely monetary free server, completely community ran.
But hey, you could buy Ruz a coffee. Links on the screen.
Yes, you can buy me a coffee. That goes towards the bots to run the server, though, not my own gain.
Okay, nice. Well, dude, I appreciate you. Thank you for putting this together. I think it's a service to the community, and everybody should go check it out, man. All right, you enjoyed the vid, throw a like on here, subscribe. If you want to see some antics with me and Ruz back in the day, I'll put some KvK videos back when Ruz. Wait, you do play the game now, right? Like you actually made a new account.
Just wait till I'm in SOC. These frauds don't even know what's coming for them.
Oh, okay. These frauds don't even know what's coming. He says. So Ruz and I used to play back in the day, and Ruz took a little hiatus, and now he's back. Back again, baby. All right. Yep. I think we're good. Watch the videos. Cards will be over here. Until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies. Take care, everybody.